Hello all you beautiful peoples, again the ones that are left over that's not offended and unsubscribed. Just setting my timer here. Okay, so this is part 2 of me discussing vegetarianism or junketarianism more. Like, I have no problem with vegetarians, I have a problem with junketarians. So a quick story. I have a client that has a daughter that was a little chubby. Like, I wouldn't say overweight. She was maybe a little overweight. She's very, very active, play sports, rugby and all kinds of stuff like that. And all of a sudden, well, she was a little overweight. All of a sudden she decided to become a vegetarian. Whatever I told you guys in the previous thing, here it comes. In the previous video, she ended up becoming a vegetarian, and she basically started immediately not eating any vegetables whatsoever. The word vegetarian, vegetable, never thought about that fact, right? So what she was basically eating was cereal bars, cakes, crackers and cheese. She drank milk when her mom forced her to because she didn't like it, but you know, she had maybe 1 cup of milk a day. She had chips, she ate all the junk that you could get out of a container. Okay, she gained something like 60 whatever pound within a couple of months of doing that. Her mom started talking to her, trying her to eat, healthy. She would cook 2 different meals, one for the daughter, one for herself. The kid hardly ever ate anything. Whatever the meal was that the mother had studied up and came up with, that kid wouldn't eat any of the vegetables that was in there because she didn't like vegetables, but she was a vegetarian, okay? So, anyway, after about, I don't know how long, her mother decided that's it, enough of that, ain't gonna happen. This kid's eating friggin' meat, even if she has to strap her down on a chair and force feed her. So what happened was, after lots of fights and discussions or whatever, kid started eating meat again. She actually ate 3 healthy meals. She ate her eggs and whatever in the morning with her toast. And basically what she still did was she replaced her cereal with proper food, like even bacon. She had bacon and toast. Her mom would make sure that she got meat in every day. She had meat in her sandwiches to school. She had meat at dinner time. And this kid was filled up from actual meals to the point where she still ate all the other junk. She still had the crackers and the bars, you know, the cereal bars and whatnot, but she didn't have as many of it because she was always filled up with food. Well, this kid, without actually dieting, had lost 30 of the 60 pounds that she had gained within a couple of weeks. Okay, so that's what the problem that I have. Like, when people tell me they're vegetarians and they're overweight, people use the excuse, picky eaters use the excuse that they're going to become vegetarians because they're picky. They don't want to eat this and they don't want to eat that, and they basically just want to live off of junk. So then they become vegetarians. And so those are the vegetarians that tick me off. And let me tell you something. Johan and I did some research on vegetarianism and how it starts, and let me tell you something. I came upon a couple of studies that scares the living daylights out of me, and I'm going to read all of this and most probably take the whole 6 minutes to do it too. People, if your children, your teenagers, all of a sudden come to you and they decide and they tell you, oh, they want to become vegetarian, I would start really, really looking into what's going on in their lives, okay? Because here's a couple of things that I don't know if you guys have read this. And please go do the research. Don't ask me where I got it. Just type it in Google. Your Google works the same as mine. Okay. Whether vegetarian for health, religion, or for ethics, research exists about the benefits of a plant-based diet. So there you go, plant-based. You eat plants, not cookies and stuff. Okay. Recent research also shows that a growing number of people, especially women in their late teens, are adopting vegetarian and vegan diets in order to lose weight, maintain low body weight, and mask here's the interesting thing, and mask restrictive eating patterns. A study from the University of Minnesota found teen vegetarians are more likely to have eating disorders than non-vegetarians. In this study, vegetarians were more likely to contemplate, and okay, that's a bunch of stuff that you guys can read up on. It's just emotional, because it's an emotional thing. They found that more vegetarians were committing suicide than non-vegetarians, okay? In another study conducted at California State University Northridge, researchers found college women who claimed to be vegetarians had a significantly greater risk of developing eating disorders than their meat-eating peers. The overlap between eating disorder and vegetarianism occurs because vegetarianism is a way for men and women to openly control their food choices without attracting negative attention to their behavior. Also, many believe that restricting meat from their diet will lead to weight loss, believes Michelle Moran, founder of blah blah blah. Okay, so family, friends, and vegetarians themselves need to know that the potential exists for vegetarianism and veganism to mask an eating disorder. This doesn't mean vegetarianism is the cause of an eating disorder or that people should adopt a vegetarian lifestyle, but it may be a way for the individual who is struggling with food and weight issues to justify his or her restrictive eating behaviors. Okay, then something about the nutritional therapist, blah, blah, blah. How much time do I have? 4 minutes. Vegetarianism has been promoted as a healthy way of managing weight. With weight being such a focus in our society, it makes sense to some of us, to some as a way of managing weight and health at the same time, she says. For those teenagers who have disordered eating tendencies, becoming vegetarian may be a way of trying to respond to a changing body. Weight gain due to puberty in a healthy way versus dieting like their friends. However, this is just dieting for weight loss in another form. Okay. In many ways, beliefs about animal protein in diets versus plant-only diets are similar to the messages we hear about physical appearance in North American culture. In both cases, anyway, you guys go read up. I want you guys to type those things in. The fact, this is not the only hit. I just got the shortest version of all of this. But people... in my wildest dreams, I never ever thought on my site I would have to deal with vegetarianism. You guys are making me study vegetarianism so that I can come up with answers to you, whereas I really don't care about vegetarianism. I'm never going to be a vegetarianism. I will never allow my kids to be vegetarians. My daughter just joined the gym and she's eating more protein than she did before, and she is now a junker anything for you. She's a junker vegetarian, she's a junker meatitarian, she's a junketarian. So we are slowly trying to change her eating patterns because we can control what she eats at home, but she's away a lot and we can't control what she eats when she's away. So anyway, we're trying to, teach her a little bit more, and she knows all the right things and blah, blah, blah. But everybody has a curve, a learning curve that they have to go through. And people, you need to think about this. So if you guys are eating a bunch of junk, if you are not living off of it, to be a vegetarian is hell. I cannot imagine for the life of me why you would want to be a vegetarian. But if you can do it, it's quite amazing. The other thing that's interesting to me is we're not herbivores. We don't have teeth like goats. So, I don't understand it. Another thing that I was discussing with Johan this morning is cats and dogs are carnivores, people. In the wild, you won't see a cat being fat and you won't see a dog being fat, and yet in North America, everybody's walking around with obese dogs and obese cats. I have one of them, love him to death. And why is that? It's because all the cat food you buy has more carbohydrates in them than they have proteins in them. The same with cows. I mean, yes, we want to have fat cows because the fat slices of beef is much juicier than the lean beef. So instead of letting your cow go and eat grass the way you're supposed to eat grass, they feed them corn to make them nice and fat so that we can have nice fatty meats to put into our bodies. People, carbohydrates make you fat. Grass won't make the cow fat, but corn is a carbohydrate, makes the cow fat, we eat the fat. There's examples and examples like crazy. I want you guys to think about this vegetarianism thing. If you are a true vegetarian, I doubt very much that I offended you, but if you are not a true vegetarian, you need to go and study why you are a vegetarian, or what is it that you're trying to not have. People, I want you guys to think about this. Food is not an emotional thing. It's not a thing that's supposed to make you feel good. You need to look at food as something that your body needs. What is it that your body needs right now to make it function? It is a really bad habit that people have gotten into, where they think that, you know, one meal tastes good and the next one has to taste even better than that, and then, oh, I'm not feeling very well today, so I have to eat something. Like, it's becoming emotional addiction. Food is an addiction, people, and that is an addiction that needs to be cured. However way you do it, vegetarianism, meatinism, yeah. It's all of our choices, and I hope you guys make good choices, but I want you guys to really, really study vegetarianism completely. Don't study it half and think, oh, I can skip that and eat all this junk. No, you study the whole thing. You don't read up on it for a week and then become one. Study it, know what your body needs. You need to learn how your body works to know what your body needs, to know how you get those nutrients out of vegetarianism. Okay, that's my speech for the day. All of those people that I offended, I hope you guys have a lovely time wherever you go, and my next video will be a little bit more fun. Okay guys, keep well. Bye-bye.